Ideas for new anime series can come from anywhere. You can have people come together and think about something original. You can adapt light novels, video games, and hell, even dabble in some manga if you wanted to. But when it comes to Korean webtoons, manhwa, or whatever you want to call them, there is a lot of potential in there that, up until now, had not been explored. Now note that I say Korean webtoons specifically because there have been some Japanese webtoon style manga that have gotten anime adaptations. Off the top of my head, there's Real Life, Recovery of an MMO Junkie, and How to Keep a Mummy. But when it comes to Korean webtoon anime adaptations, now that list is very lacking. I could find one series that looks like it's been adapted on 2 separate occasions and therefore has 2 separate single episode adaptations. And as a matter of fact is now in the process of getting its 3rd, but hopefully first, full adaptation. And yeah, you can give off your reason as to why that may be. You can say how it doesn't make sense for Japanese studios to animate Korean works or whatever. I don't care. I just know that as a fan, I want my favorite series to be adapted in the style of my favorite medium. And for a long while, for the series in this medium that I enjoy, that seemed impossible. That is, until recently, that Crunchyroll, as a part of their Crunchyroll original series, teamed up with Webtoon in an attempt to develop and co-produce new anime content. And 3 of these series are Korean webtoons. Noblesse, The God of High School, and Tower of God. The first is the previous webtoon I mentioned that has gotten 2 separate OVAs before. The second got a short anime-like opening sequence a couple years back. And the third is not only one of, if not the most popular webtoon out at the moment, but it's also the very series this video is about. Tower of God is a Korean webtoon authored by Lee Jong-hee, also known by his pen name Shu, spelled S-I-U, which stands for Slave in Utero. The story follows Rachel, the girl who wishes to see the stars, and Bam, the boy who would risk his life to see her as they both go up the tower. And of course, in addition to this, there are several other characters who are trying to go up the very same tower to have their own desires fulfilled. Whether it be riches, honor, power, revenge, or something that surpasses all of those things. They are more than happy risking their lives going up this tower, knowing that they will find whatever they desire at the top of the tower. It's a very gripping concept, and when presented with the questions the first chapter alone has you asking yourself, it's really no big surprise that despite being sort of put off by the art style when I first started reading this, decided to continue reading it. Because believe it or not, despite how this episode looked, when it comes to the original webtoon, early Tower of God's main weak point is its art. Now, while I do hesitate to call what you're seeing on screen right now bad art, it definitely fails in comparison to what Shu is whipping up nowadays. It especially fails when compared to how this episode looked. This adaptation, one episode in, has a lot of visual ambition, I think. I'm a big fan of the rough art style they went with. The backgrounds, especially in the first floor, were really cool and played really well into the fantasy elements this series has. And all of these visuals are backed up by a beautiful soundtrack by Kevin Penkin, who you may not know by name, but you've definitely heard some of his other work in series like Made in Abyss and Rising of the Shield Hero. Bottom line is that when it comes to the audio and visuals, I'm pretty sure we're in for a good time. But when it comes to the overall story, now that may take a hit. You see, this episode covered around 5 chapters of the original webtoon, and despite the leaving out of material, at least for the time being, this still felt way too hectic. Though the pacing was by no means a surprise, the first season of Tower of God spans roughly around 80 chapters, and so adapting all of the character interactions and less important but enjoyable bits and pieces the webtoon has to offer into 13 animated episodes is going to be near impossible. There was just a part of me that couldn't help but feel that there was an attempt to get out of the first floor as soon as possible as a means to get into the second floor and briefly show all the new characters that are seen there. You see, if the first floor as a whole had been a bit more thorough, Yuri's involvement is seen a lot less like a mere coincidence. A lot of the terms and concepts thrown out are a bit more clear and seen a lot less like exposition dumps. Things regarding the Black March and why she lent to Bam her power seems a little bit less ridiculous. And we also understand Bam's admiration of Rachel a lot more. We understand why the fear of losing her trumps every other fear he could have. But at the end of the day, looking at things from an anime only perspective, I guess the very vague nature of some of the things I just mentioned just adds to the mystery for you. And who am I to ruin that? Now, don't get me wrong, despite what you may think, I actually enjoyed this episode a lot, and I do think the next episode will benefit from the fast pacing that was established. I will also continue supporting this anime and all of the other manhwa getting adaptations, and you should too. In the description, there will be a link that will take you to the Webtoon website where you can read the official translations for Tower of God, Noblesse, God of High School, and a bunch of other webtoons for free, legally, and most importantly, you'll be supporting the authors of these stories. Please leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on the episode, and if you've read the webtoon, let me know your thoughts on the adaptation as well, though note that not everybody is caught up with the webtoon, so keep your comments spoiler free, please. Also, it's been a while since I uploaded, so any feedback you have is very much appreciated. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you know when a video is up, and feel free to follow me on Twitter at ReadNetwork, link is in the description if you want to interact with me or just stay up to date with videos. I don't know if I should address the 7 to 8 month hiatus. I guess I sort of just did, but I'll just leave it at that. Just know that if you, for some reason, were disappointed by the lack of content for the past several months, so was I. I love writing these very average scripts, editing these videos, and whether you choose to believe me or not, I definitely got a kick out of discussing theories and the things I said with all of you in the comments. Which is why when I just sort of stopped, not only did it come as a surprise to me, but it was also ridiculously hard to get back into. I tried several times to get back into things, but things just weren't clicking. But I'm here now, and really that's all that matters to me. So I ask you to please just be patient and to bear with me as I get back into the groove of things. And really, I think that's about all I have to say regarding this episode and the current state of the channel. So until next time, wash your hands, stay the fuck inside, and I'll see you all soon. Later.